In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, my dear friends, there are, most of the people in the world today, they are on the survival mode. Many of, not if not most, then, a good proportion of the people in the world today, they are on the survival mode. Some of these people are, you know, another reasonably good proportion of the people is in the thriving mode. They are thriving, and they are developing, they are progressing, they are trying to achieve whatever they want to, etc., etc. Now, I think that for all the people, even for those people who are on the survival mode, particularly, especially for those people who are thriving, I think we must be civilized people, we must be cultured people. And apart from our, whatever we are trying to achieve, whatever we are trying to have, whatever we are trying to enjoy, that's all fine. But apart from that, we need to become cultured person. We need to become a civilized person. How can we become a civilized and a cultured person? That is going to be discussed and debated upon in our today's talk. And for that purpose, we have chosen a very beautiful article on the subject as well. This has been authored by Paul Bryan. It has been authored by whom? By Paul Bryan. Paul Bryan is a you know well-known researcher, writer on the subject of psychology, and here he has written a very good, very useful article, and the caption of this very beautiful, useful article is, you know, 9 habits that distinguish cultured people from the rest. 9 habits that distinguish cultured people from the rest. That is so important. You know, that distinguish cultured people from the rest. 9 habits. So we are going to talk about all those 9 habits. Each one of these is important if at all we want to become a civilized and a cultured person. And I think that it's not necessary that all the money we have earned we are going to utilize and consume it upon ourselves. And if at all we don't become a civilized and a cultured person, I think all of our thriving, all of our development and progress and so-called prosperity, that will be not complete if I don't say, I won't say that it is useless, but I shall like to say that it is not complete at all. So be a complete person. Let's try to be a civilized and a cultured person. Now let's turn to those 9 habits which I have been emphasized by Paul Bryan in this respect. And the first of that habit is, self-care. Paul Bryan says that they are, they do take care of themselves. And taking care of themselves, obviously, it is very important. And if at all we don't take care of ourselves, who else will take care of ourselves? We need to take care of ourselves. That is really, really important. And that is the first one out of the 9 habits, to be a cultured and a civilized person. And the second habit is selectivity. What is this selectivity? I mean, although there are plenty and plenty and plenty of options available in front of us for all the time, but we have to be very selective. We have to be somewhat choosy. We have to be somewhat choosy whatever we are doing, while eating, while making friends, while traveling, while wearing the clothing, whatever we are trying to do. We need to become a bit selective. Selectivity is important, and that was the number two. Number three, Paul Bryan says that quality over quantity. Quality over quantity, that is also important. you know uh, because if at all you say that on the one side there are 10 people available as a friend, on the other side there is one or two, and if at all this one or two is more cultured, is more civilized, is a good human, or the good human being, or the educated human being, I think that we need to prefer these one or two. So we need to become, we need to pay attention. We need to pick the quality over the quantity. And the quantity, if at all it is too much, I think if the quality is poor, I think it is of no use at all. Quality over quantity. But if at all, a person have to buy the food for the whole of the family, and the money one possesses is very little one, that maybe uh, then a sort of compromise will be needed, and even at certain other places as well. But generally speaking, I think the quality should be preferred over the quantity, and that is number three. Number four, Paul Bryan says active listening. We do listen, each one of us do have to listen, but if at all some of the people are the active listeners, they pay good amount of attention to what somebody is talking to, so that they are able to understand it well, so that they are able to pick the good points out of that. Okay, that is active listening. Number five, Paul Bryan says work life balance. And work is important, and there is no second opinion upon it. We cannot go without the work, but we need to strike a balance between the rest and the work. Work is important. If at all the work is important, we do have to carry on the work on a longer for a longer period of time. We do have to carry on the work for a longer period of time, and in that case we must maintain a balance. In that case we must maintain a balance. Okay, and that is work life balance. Number six, Paul Bryan says reading widely. Reading widely, reading. Although that is meant for the sake of gaining informations and knowledge, and that for that purpose reading is important. But nowadays there are certain other sources of that also. Certain other windows are also available there. Certain other avenues are also available there. I mean, the smartphone in our pocket, the computer we are using, it contains a lot of knowledge, lot of information. And but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't read at all. We do need to read, but apart from the reading, if at all we are unable to read, there are audio books available, there are lectures available on the smartphone, on the YouTube, which can be enjoyed. Okay, that is the number five. That's the number six. Number seven, he says musical diversity. Why did he say this? For the sake of spirituality. But we as a Muslims, we do understand that. We as a Muslim, we do understand that we can gain the spirituality by listening to Quran, by listening the beautiful recitation of Quran, by reading Quran, by saying the prayer, by doing the dhikr, marakba, and that like thing. Number eight, Paul Bryan says constant curiosity. Curiosity is important. Constant curiosity is also important. Constant curiosity mean that we should keep learning, we should keep knowing, and we should, if at all we are curious, we can understand it better. That is really important. And the last is trend avoidance. Trendy things are followed by most of the people, but I think that avoiding the trends is also important. Because these glossy people, these cultured people, they are not the trend lovers at all. They make their own choices, and they like the things which are of permanent importance. As for the trendy things are concerned, the trendy dresses, the trendy food, the trendy other things are concerned, these come and go. But as for these glossy people, as for these cultured people are concerned, they prefer to stick to the things which are of permanent importance. Okay, so what we need to do then, let's follow not the trends, but the things of permanent importance. So these were the things about the cultured people. I think that we need to become a cultured person, we need to become a civilized person. Thriving, that's very fine. Earning more money, that's really important, that's okay, that's important. But if at all we are not civilized person, despite the fact that we are moving forward as for the material development is concerned, if at all we are not a civilized and a cultured person, I think we are doing bad with we ourselves. And we don't need to do a bad with ourselves, we need to be good, we need to take good care of ourselves. I think whether we are having more money or lesser money, whether we are more educated and lesser educated, as for this being cultured is concerned, as for this culture is being cultured, being civilized person is concerned, I think that must not be sacrificed at all. And I think that should be taken as a personal accomplishment. Thank you. Jazakallah.